Meanwhile, the votes are in, at least as it regards last evening, and it appears a preponderance of viewers felt Hillary Clinton had the stronger night in Las Vegas. According to a CBS News poll, 49% of voters, albeit in battleground states, felt that Hillary Clinton won the debate, while 39%, as you can see there, felt Donald Trump was the victor. 12% called it a draw. To break it all down for us, then, I'm now joined by our elections director, Anthony Salvanto, in Las Vegas. And Anthony, with regard to the idea and the semantics of a win or a loss, certainly the one transformative moment last night was when Donald Trump once again refused to say whether he would support the result of the election. But in the CBS poll to which I refer, we found that some 63% of voters feel that both candidates need to make that pledge. So what to make of it?
Well, in some sense, Josh, you could say that's a large number. It's obviously a majority, but it's not exactly a complete majority. It's not exactly 100%. And one of the interesting things about this is among Republicans, you find more saying that they both should accept that result. And that's something of, to use the Vegas parlance, tell here. That means that that's something that's put a bit of a limit on how much of his support Donald Trump can grow out of this. But you do then see about a third of his supporters who say that he should not. And I think that tells a larger story. There is a fairly large segment of his voters and of the electorate that is starting to lose faith in institutions more generally. They're starting to lose faith not just in vote counting, but in all the workings and many of the workings of how this political system operates. And I think that sort of reflects that larger theme and that larger strain of opinion that his vote has tapped into, Josh.
But interestingly, if we assume his support to be roughly 40%, as we have discussed, or somewhere close to it, only 19% of respondees felt that no, that both candidates need not. If we assume that the vast majority of those are in fact Donald Trump supporters, it would also suggest that 1 in 2 Trump supporters, in fact, disagree with their candidate on this very issue.
Oh, yes. And that is why, on balance, this issue probably will not help him expand at all, because you see it among Republicans as well. And look, in other respects, we found that voters were as likely to say now they might consider Trump as likely to say, well, they now might consider Hillary Clinton. So on balance, it was a draw in other respects. But this was the one place where even his own party, at least some in his own party, broke ranks with him. And in fact, that's been part of his trouble all along, is that he has the support of many Republicans, but not enough, but not all. And in part because this is an institution that, as Major pointed out, has been part of the democratic process, for obviously since the founding. And that is someplace where in 2016 we've seen yet another first.
Which just does not fail to stun, I might add. To make a further meal, then, of some of these numbers, the poll also revealed that a majority of voters felt that Hillary Clinton did not do enough to explain the email controversy that still is burgeoning. 62%, in fact, said that. But nearly half the voters also said that the debate didn't impact their opinion of her at all. So what to make of all of that, Nath?
Well, she holds this in place, at least among debate watchers. One of the things that has dogged her throughout this campaign are these poll numbers that are low on being honest and trustworthy, on telling the truth. If you could turn that around in a debate, from this, it doesn't look like she did. She still continues to have people saying that they don't feel that she's honest and trustworthy, and part of that comes out of the emails and her discussion of them. So less than half said they felt like there was an adequate explanation of all that was happening on that front. Having said that, if she just wants to hold this and she's got, say, a single-digit lead, at least nationwide and in the battleground states, then there isn't a lot of evidence that would show any slippage away from her. But yes, not any gains, at least from among people who might have been looking for a better explanation of the emails.
Quickly, Anthony, I found last night in the aftermath of this third and final debate, that the idea with these two candidates, given how diametrically opposed they are and given, frankly, how famous they both are, I find it remarkable that there are still undecided likely voters. How many are there still?
It's less than 10%, Josh, and that is an extremely low number, but it is still some folks in play. But the reason for that is not that there are people out there who like both of these candidates and feel like they have this great choice they get to make. It's in fact the opposite. It's people who consistently tell us that they feel like they're settling. They want to be dutiful, they want to exercise their democratic right and go out and vote, but they don't like either candidate. And that's where you find that larger number of undecided. That's been the dynamic in this race, where each of the candidates has been seeking to disqualify the other in much of their rhetoric, and we've picked that up because that's what's left out there. That's what the undecided voters are weighing right now, is which one is the one sort of worth settling for, if you will.
Perhaps something still to ruminate upon in these last 19 days, as we've seen in this election cycle. That is a relative lifetime. Anthony Salvanto there in Las Vegas. As always, we appreciate it.
Thanks.